Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Diane and my passion is painting and creating nature-inspired watercolours in my studio, which are easy for you to do too. I share all my paintings with you on YouTube, and on our website dianeantone.com you can find free downloadable sketches for all the videos to help you make the most of your painting journey. And if you'd like a little bit more, we also have channel memberships with loads of perks for you to enjoy. So welcome on board. Click subscribe and turn on notifications, and let's learn to paint watercolour. Hi everyone, Diane here. Welcome to my studio. I'm sorry if there's any problem with the light today, but it's a very dull day and I can't turn the lights on in here because we'll get shadows. So at the moment, I'm painting in a sort of semi-darkness, very moody. But I've got a couple of things I want to introduce you to today in case you don't know about them. And as you know, I live in France, and I wanted to share with you another YouTube channel which some of you might be interested in watching and perhaps following along with it using subtitles, because it is in French. But the lady who does it has just produced what I think is actually an absolutely gorgeous little book. It's called Fleurs et végétaux à l'aquarelle. Of course, we've got some French Canadians as well, I think, who follow us, who might be interested to know about this. This young lady, I don't know how old she is. She's probably about 30. Her name's Blanche. And she has, she's painted a book here with 50 paintings for you to follow along with. And they are gorgeous, actually, all in the modern watercolour style, so very undemanding. And she actually goes into a lot of explanation about what the modern watercolour style actually is, which is, sorry to use the word actually twice there in one sentence, smack. Because I was wondering about that, have been wondering about that for a while. It's a style that I now understand, thanks to Blanche, and I think I paint naturally like this. We tend to call it loose in the West. No, France is in the West. Sorry. We tend to call it loose in my vernacular, but I can see why it's called modern, because it looks relaxed and easygoing and undemanding. And she says right at the beginning that the whole point of modern watercolour is that you can learn how to do it without needing to know much in the way of skills, as you used to have to in the traditional watercolour practice, where, you know, it was much more complex. But this is a direct, it's almost like in oil painting when you paint directly onto canvas and you don't do lots of layers. They call it alla prima, which means in the first pass over the paper, over the canvas. And I think I would be inclined to say that this kind of painting is also like that. It's alla prima. Now, she has a YouTube channel, and it's called L'eau bleue, blue water. So I'll put a link in it below in the description. And you might like to have a look at what she does over there. She hasn't got very many followers and she hasn't got very many videos up there, but she does a lot on Instagram. And she's worth a look, definitely. If you're interested in florals, I mean, florals aren't the only thing we do on this channel, so I don't mind if you go and have a look at her stuff. And I think this is nice, isn't it? An all-over pattern like that. I quite like that. And one of the things that she suggests, so this is her book, Fleurs et végétaux à l'aquarelle. You can get that on Amazon. And again, I'll put it in my shop. And you know, I know you can't read, if you don't speak French, you won't be able to understand it very easily, but you can always look at the pictures, and it's all done step by step so that you can follow the instructions. And it's actually really nice to have a book on watercolour painting that's got some skill in it. So anyway, one of the things that she suggests that you do, and I think is a brilliant idea, before you start to paint a bouquet, she suggests you make a sort of cheat sheet, if you like. Can't think of a better way of describing it. But you pick your colours, you swatch them at the top so that you know what you're working with, and then you do little samples of all of the different flowers and leaves and things that you're going to put in your painting. And then what you can do a couple of things with that. You can sacrifice the sheet and cut them out and use them and arrange them and see how you think they're going to go on a piece of paper. Or you just go ahead and paint your bouquet or whatever using these elements. You see what I mean? So, because isn't it funny? Have you ever noticed when you pick up a paintbrush and you go, oh, I'm going to paint a flower. And I don't know about you, but my mind goes a blank and I think, what does a flower look like? So if you have your little cheat sheet beside you, you can say, oh, yeah, that kind of flower or that kind of flower or that kind of thing. I can do one of them now. And that really helps. So I did this one. Don't take any notice of this mistake down here. I should put that there to cover it up. Choosing your colours. She says choose a limited palette. That means using about 6 colours. This is a limited palette, but you wouldn't choose that one, would you? Why not? Because it doesn't have enough variety in it. This is a limited palette. Ditto. That's no use for painting with, is it? This is not a limited palette. It's complete because it's got 16 different colours in it. And it's got everything. So that's no use either. You want a limited palette. That means you need about 6 colours like this. And out of those 6 colours, you can make a harmonious painting. So what I've got here, this is where I sit down, is I've got a couple of colours that you might not be familiar with and a few that you will be. I've got Indian red, which is this brownish, reddish colour. I've got cadmium red. And I've got something called terre verte, which is this. Terre verte means green earth. It's a dull bluish green, and it mixes really nicely with pink to give you very subtle greys. And if you're going to be painting something along these lines with lots of greyish green leaves, then this is a really good start. You can start with sap green or something like that too, but this is kind of halfway there because you pick this colour up straight out of the tube and you've got what you might call a subtle sign yeah. And the good thing about that is if you blend it, mix it with, let's say, phthalo blue, you get a really nice, deep, I really like that colour. One of my favourites. That's phthalo blue or, what's it called? Prussian blue mixed with terre verte. Hello, Cockerel. That's Michael. Or Gabriel. Sorry, Michael went to live somewhere else. Yeah, so there's that. And if you mix it with pink, I've got Potter's Pink here. This is Potter's Pink. So we mix it with a bit of that. And we get a grey. So that would be nice for something like silver dollars, or silver eucalyptus, that kind of thing, or just for foliage in the background. Look at that. Foliage in the background. And then another thing that you can do when you're painting these kind of leaves is if you just drop a little bit of darker colour, denser, in the bottom of the leaf or in the stem and let that blend up. And then you can get some really nice, they call them fondus in French, these where the paint mixes on the paper. I always thought a fondue was something you ate, but turns out it means something else to a French person. It means melted. literally fondue. So that's nice. So you make the grey using the Potter's Pink with a bit of Terre Verte, which I think mine was a Schminke one, but you can get it from anywhere. And you've got this nice grey, neutral grey, fairly neutral. And then you just drop in perhaps a little bit of Potter's Pink. And then you just let it blend. And maybe your next leaf, you'll do that in Potter's Pink. And maybe you'll take a bit of green and drop that in. You know, or you add a little bit more green there on one side. And then you just leave it to do its thing. And then I've got here also the other colour. One of the other colours I'm going to be using is yellow ochre, which when you mix that with Terre Verte, you get a really quite nice, soft, more kind of natural green, because this is a bit unnatural, although it doesn't mean to say you don't want it. And this is the yellow. Oops, I knew that was going to happen. This is the yellow I'm going to use. Okay, so yeah, Terre Verte, Potter's Pink, yellow ochre, phthalo blue, cadmium red for berries. Yeah, but you don't have to. Oh dear me, I'm going to have to paint over this. Not everything works out, you know. Sometimes things go wrong. Like this poinsettia, which seems to want to have 6 petals. I don't know how many they've actually got. I've forgotten. I bought one the other day and I meant to check, but I've forgotten. It's probably got 6. This one's got 6 anyway. Okay, you just go into the background there. And then you can put veins in using a sharp stick or the corner of a credit card cut in half, or anything that you can lay your hands on. Here's a pointed stick. And if you... Sorry, this one's not very good. If you draw into it when it's drying, you get a white line like that. And if it's a little bit wetter, you'll get a dark line. If it's completely dry, you get nothing. Yeah. Okay, so there we are. We get a light line when it's beginning to dry, like that. Oh, I knew I'd come in handy for something, says the failed poinsettia. I know I'm not beautiful, but I'm useful. I feel like that sometimes, don't you? Let's put a bit of black there just to cramp a little bit of black from my Kuretake colours, and we'll just put some black dots around here and try to comfort my failed poinsettia and say, you may not look like a poinsettia, but you have your own charm. I don't know, maybe this is a case of, oh, you could probably ink this, make it look a bit better, or maybe you could just put some dark lines around it. Thinking modern watercolour. Doesn't have to be the way Ron Ransom would have done it. We don't all want to paint like Ron Ransom, do we? Who, they said, as of one voice across America, of whom dost thou speak? Well, all right, Bob Ross. Zoltan Sabo. I don't know how you pronounce his name. Or who else is American? Really famous painter. Looking at my books. Zoltan. Robert Wade. I think he's Australian. Anyway, I'm getting off track. I don't know if any of you know a lady called, where is she? Yeah, here, right next to Zoltan. Pat Weaver, I don't know, I hope she's still alive, I don't know. This is a great book. This is a really great book. She's a great artist. She is a great modern artist. And it's a great book. I've actually got 2 copies of this. That's how much I liked it. I learned a lot from her about contrast and colour and all sorts of things. Watercolor Simplified by Pat Weaver. Excellent book if you're a serious student. So now let's get started, as they say in all the best videos. Oh, I've got something else I wanted to show you too, actually. Let's not get started. Let's diverge again. This is a sketchbook from Canson. Whoops. I have stuck on the front a junk journal insert thingy that was sent to me by a lovely lady called Dawn, who sent me a whole pile of these things, and I've incorporated a lot of them into my junk journal. And I thought to myself, I want to stick something on the front of this because it says Canson XL on the front, which is really, really ugly. I don't know why they have to do that. So I've covered that up, and it's nice because it's got a little pocket there, and I can put something like that in there, you see. If I've got a little swatch that I want to refer to later, talking about referring to things, I can put that in there. I could put another one in here if I wanted to. Anyway, so that's the front. But Canson XL, this is a little one. It's about 5.5 by 8 inches. But it's got, although it's a sketchbook, it's got 140-pound paper in it. It's got a texture on this side, which is a little like canvas. And on the other side, it's smooth. A bit like that Lavis Fidelis paper by Arches that I was talking about the other day. So you could take a page out of here if you wanted to make a little card, and it would be smooth on the inside and textured on the outside for the painting, which is nice. Anyway, I have purchased this book. You can get them in America, you can get them in UK. I've got this one in France. And I'm going to use this. What are you doing here, Rabbit? What's this hedgehog and Christmas tree doing in here? I don't know. Zoom, zoom. Yeah, they're going to do the Olympics in 2029 in Saudi Arabia, aren't they? My husband said, oh, I'll be long gone by then. Well, I hope not. It's only 6 years away. Actually, it was really funny because we were talking about how the world's gone completely and utterly bonkers. And Tamzin said, oh, yeah, you know where they're going to do the Olympics in 2029? And my husband, who, sorry, I put you back in focus. My husband said, oh, Saudi Arabia, I suppose. This is a joke, you know? Like, is it the most unlikely place in the world? And so we said, well, actually, yes. So his face fell. I thought that was meant to be a joke. Well, it is. Anyway, back to the Canson XL book, 8 by 5.5. I'm going to use this as a sketchbook, and I'm going to do it full of flowers. It's going to be my floral book. So just thought I'd let you know about that. I'll put that over here. Sorry, just banged the camera. Paper. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I'm going to have a go now and do something. I was going to show you something else, but I won't because I ought to get painting because I'm going to run out of time. It's nearly lunchtime. So what shall I do? Shall we do a wreath of some sort? Have I got the right colours? It's going to be quite subdued. I don't know. Let's start with, let's put it this way for a start. I don't know what's going to come out of this, so bear with me. This is Potter's Pink. And this is what did I call it? Terre verte. No, that was not a test. If you add a little bit of yellow ochre to the terre verte, you're going to get a greener, a yellow, a greener rather than bluer colour. So that's what you get. So just do some doodahs there. Oops. If you want to make your pink a little bit darker, I've got a big butcher's tray here which I can mix things in on, or you could use just an ordinary palette. You can put some of the pink, and I'm going to add a little bit of, oops, not that much, a little bit of red to get another colour, slightly darker. And then, oh, I tell you what, I did forget one colour that I mustn't forget, which is Windsor Violet. I had planned to have Windsor Violet available because we needed a darker mauve. And yes, so having done the petals, always drop a little bit of a darker colour in to the centre there, so it can melt into the other colours. And we'll go back to our original rose and just add in the necessary slightly darker parts. And here also the centre is a little bit darker. And then you can take some of this Potter's Pink and add a little bit of Windsor Violet to it to give us a lilac-y colour, and perhaps we'll do another rose, or I suppose maybe these look more like peonies. And when you've got a sort of little space, you could just put a little branch out and put some berries like that. And I have a small problem there, so we'll just lift that and leave that to dry. If you don't get too hung up on the rights and the wrongs, but you just go ahead and paint and you'll feel more relaxed. I think that was a very, very good point that Blanche made about watercolour not needing the skills that you used to. I'll put a little bit of dark in there because I happen to have it on my brush. Yeah, it used to be difficult to learn to paint watercolour, but it doesn't need to be. Oh yeah, that's fine now. A little bit more green. I hope everybody's got their Christmas tree up, if they celebrate Christmas. We have. I don't normally put mine up on the 3rd of December. Well, we put it up on the 1st, actually. But Denise, my friend from California, said she was going to put hers up. So I thought, well, in that case, not to be outdone. It's only an artificial one. And we've had it for years. I wouldn't buy a tree at all now if I didn't have the artificial one. I would bring in one of my trees from the garden. I've got a few outside. And, you know, I would just bring in one of the potted plants and decorate that. I've done that before when we were living somewhere else. That is to say, somewhere where, you know, pine trees. I remember one Christmas when I was living in the Black Forest in Germany. Well, actually, no, not in the Black Forest. It was near Lake Constance. And I was working. In those days, I used to have to work. I'll put some red here. I don't know if it's going to work. I was working and I didn't get any time off, and it was Christmas Eve, and I hadn't managed to get out to buy a Christmas tree, and I went very late to the market in would have been Evelyn then, I think, and everybody had packed up and left and taken all the trees away, except, and this is starting to sound like a Christmas story from a book, except in the middle of the market square where they had the winter market, the Christmas market for that day, and it was now gone, there was one poor, forlorn little branch of a Christmas tree. It wasn't even a whole Christmas tree. It's always a whole one in all the best stories. But in this story, which is true, there was just a branch. It was a big branch. Somebody had obviously cut it off, not liking it, too big perhaps to go in their car, and they dumped it. So I swiftly jumped at it and brought it home and decorated it. And that was our Christmas tree for that year. That's what I call recycling, don't you? Yeah, Christmas is another year. I think I was living in the same place. I think it was when I was working in a bakery in Germany. Another year, I just drew one. I got a huge big sheet of paper and drew a Christmas tree and stuck it on the door to my room because it was only me. The children weren't with me then, so it didn't matter so much. And put some dark blueberries on this one. Years ago, we used to go, like I think a lot of people do in the States, we used to go and, in fact, we probably copied it from America, I expect. There used to be a farm nearby where we lived in Kent. And we used to go and choose our own tree and dig it up. And then it got planted in the garden afterwards. I remember planting one when my son was a baby, and we watched it grow for quite a few years before we moved away from there. It's been chopped down now, a bit like him. Just joking, he's still alive. Okay, so I think, I don't know, we could go on with this until we fill the whole paper. How about something a bit curly, perhaps? How about if we mix a little bit of yellow ochre with a little bit of Potter's pink? Oh no, that's not very clean Potter's pink now. Just a bit of a wash. Potter's pink and yellow ochre, what will we get? We're going to get a sort of beigey brown, I think, kind of. And what was I thinking about? Oh yeah, using white. Yeah, no, I'm not going to talk about that now. I'll save that for another day. So I hope everyone's got all their Christmas shopping done. I've got a couple of things. I usually buy my husband a shirt every year. I have done for the last few years anyway. A warm shirt. Has anyone else got a husband like mine? He puts things in the wardrobe and then forgets he's got them, and he says to me, "Oh, I really need some more. I need some more shirts because I've only got 47. No, he doesn't say that. He says, "I need a new shirt because I haven't got anything warm." And I'm like, "What about the last 47 I bought you for Christmas?" "Oh, yeah," he goes. "Oh, yeah, that nice one you bought me last year, that was really warm." That's right. Where is it? Probably at the bottom of a pile of laundry waiting to be done, I expect. So I bought him another one this year to add to the pile. Do we need a few more berries? I think probably we do. And I'm going to stop soon because let's put some little ones over here. The little dark berries that we love so much that don't actually exist in real life do make a big difference. They don't have to be particularly accurately drawn. Maybe I'll do some in a lighter blue down here. That was a cool thing that just happened there. Did you see that? I had these dark berries, like that. And then I came along with some lighter paint and drew the stem, and the paint just, anyway, just doesn't want to do it now, typical. Just ran down the stalk. Oh well, you can't always repeat these things. Again, a little bit more dark in here. You have to wait to do the middles until it's completely dry. I think is probably very good advice. And with the roses, you know, go do one pass alla prima and then come back and do another bit. And then go back to this terre verte, which, you know, you can mix this colour easily enough. But sometimes I think it's really useful to just have it there, you know, to pick up. I don't think you have to mix everything always from scratch. Because it'd be there forever, wouldn't you? I think I'm going to revisit this little dotty thing down here, and I'm going to do it a bit more. And I think these need some stems. I think we're coming to the end. I'm going to stop in a minute. Don't forget to like and subscribe, will you? If you enjoyed this, or even if you didn't, why not? Hey, you never know. It might be better next time. Can't always get everything perfect, can we? I'm not entirely unhappy with this. I think this is okay. Quite pretty. Probably look better when it's dry, as most things do. That's a very important thing to remember is, for goodness sake, don't evaluate your painting. Don't say whether or not it's been a success. And who is to say what is a success? I've looked at paintings a year later after having done them and stuck them in the back of a drawer, and then they mature. It's like a good wine. They mature. And you come back to them later and you say to yourself, oh, actually, I misjudged you. You're not as ugly as I thought you were. It's another thing I say to my husband. No, I wouldn't say that. Just joking. I feel like Michael McIntyre sometimes, how he always makes fun of his wife. Well, it's about time somebody made fun of their husband. He's going to have an operation next week, another one. He loves going into hospital because he likes all the nurses. And he's got a lump on his head. It's a small skin. Oh, yeah. Needs to come off. So wish him luck. Let's hope it's no more serious than we think it is. I'm sure it isn't. I'm sure he'll be absolutely fine, so don't worry. Everything's always fine with him in the end. He's indestructible. Just putting some yellow in the centre of these flowers that have been waiting patiently to get their hearts put in. And I'm going to leave it there. So I'll see you again soon. I hope you enjoyed that. And get yourself some terre verte and some potter's pink and paint something nice and subtle. So there we are. One little sprig of wintry bouquet thingy. So I'll say goodbye now. See you again soon. Bye everybody. Bye bye.